Hey, true believers. By now, I believe you all probably have already heard the tragic news of the passing of none other than our dear beloved Stan Lee, the creator of a large majority of the Marvel Universe, as we know it, at least. He was rushed to the hospital earlier this day where he eventually passed away at the age of 95. Unfortunately, I wish this could have come at a better set of circumstances, but we all know that, it's no secret that Stanley's physical and mental health has been pretty shaky over the last few months, to say nothing of his personal life and the recent abuses he's suffered from some really bad people who took advantage of an aging old man with money, which is just sad. It broke my heart. It still does. And it saddens me that such an important man to us, to the geek community, to the world, to pop culture, to everyone, such a wonderful and kind, decent man was taken advantage in the last few days of his life, so horribly and disgustingly, right up until the moment of the day of his passing. It's sad, but it happened, and nothing, I'm afraid, will ever change that. Stan Lee, as you probably already know, or probably you should know, he did a little bit more than just appear in a few cameos in some Marvel movies. He's also a pioneer in the comic book industry. He basically helped shape the way comic books are being perceived today. He created a countless library of characters, from Spider-Man to the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Thor, Black Panther, the Inhumans, Daredevil. He's done so much for us as comic book readers, as fans of these characters and of these stories and of these worlds, that to see an icon like that pass away on normal circumstances would be pretty rough for anyone. To know that Stan had been through the stuff that he did towards the end of his life just makes things even harder. And that's another sad reality that we just really take for granted these days. We don't really spend enough time to talk about these types of people. We always spend so much time talking about our favorite heroes, from Captain America, Thor, Doctor Strange, the X-Men, Spider-Man, many of the people on this poster behind me. Yeah, these all are well and good heroes to everyone else, but we always tend to forget that the real heroes traditionally are the people behind these types of stories, the writers, the artists, the people who help bring these characters to life. And I'm not really comparing them to what people would consider the real heroes of humanity, such as policemen or firemen or military men. That's not the same case at all. I mean, these people save lives, and it's good. It's the best thing that any man or woman could do. But I would say that almost equally as important are these people that take the time to write these types of stories for us and entertain us and help keep our minds off of things and away from just the horrors of the world we live in today, and everything that helps bring us down. These people always help bring our spirits up. They're the ones that keep us human. They're the ones that keep us who we are. So, like I said, military men, firemen, firefighters, I should say, policemen, doctors, they're the ones keeping us alive. But writers, artists, creators, storytellers, those are the people that keep us human, which I would argue is equally just as important as staying alive. What point is there to be alive if you're not allowed to enjoy life, is what I would say. And Stan definitely always had a desire to put his stories and his characters at the forefront of his career. He cared less about money. Of course, he did care about making money off of his work, but he also always made it a point to give his readers and his fans the best comic book experience that he could provide. And not a lot of people are willing to go that far because they care. And that's really what's most important. And remember, people, we live in some very dark and disturbing times right now. I mean, literally right now, not so far from where I'm sitting here, rockets are being launched at cities very close to mine, and there's a chance that a rocket might hit my own city later down the line tonight. And also, not very far from here, at the northern border of my country, there's a civil war that's been going on for years now. People are dying for years in that war. People are dying all around the world in wars. And there's no better way to say it other than political bullshit happening all over the world right now. People taking sides, people just preaching against other people, people hating other people. Those are some of the things that Stan wanted to get rid of. He always made it a point to put an emphasis on diversity and quality as well as quantity in his stories. He pretty much was instrumental in creating the first ever black superhero, the Black Panther. He made one of the most influential female superheroine of all time in the form of Sue Storm, later named Sue Richards, the Invisible Woman, as well as Jean Grey. He basically created the first ever teenage superhero in the form of Spider-Man. He never was afraid to tackle the fantastic within the mundane with characters such as Thor and Doctor Strange and alien characters from beyond our wildest imaginations. He even accidentally, inadvertently created this guy, Groot, that we all now love and cherish. He gave us so much that we love and adore, and it would be a disservice to his legacy to forget all about that and forget what these things mean and stand for. Even the X-Men, they were basically a metaphor for racism, something that Stan Lee had hoped would vanish from the world. Unfortunately, it didn't, but it just shows you how much of an innovator he was, even back then. Stan was an incredible person, a national treasure by any other name. His passing couldn't be chalked up into anything other than a sad tragedy of humanity. And to all my fellow geeks and nerds out there, fanboys, fangirls, what have you, I have just probably one major request from all of you. And, you know, like I said, we live in a very difficult time right now where people are getting treated with hate comments and venomous replies for basically disagreeing with other people's opinions and not liking other people's opinions or what have you. People usually attack other people for liking DC over Marvel, or whatever, and I really don't believe that this is what Stan Lee had in mind when he co-created the Marvel Universe. I can't see a reality where this is the future that Stan had envisioned for these characters. Of course, I believe he wanted his Marvel characters to succeed more than the DC characters, but not like this. So, what I ask of you is, people today normally mostly only focus on the negative stuff that happen all around us. So, what I ask of you, my fellow geeks and nerds of the world, cherish the legacy of Stan Lee, not by forcing it on anyone, but just take some time to remember all the good that came out of this wonderful, wonderful man, and all of the wonderful stories you probably, I assume, read from him. And even if you haven't read the comics, I'm assuming you've seen some of the animated series that came out as a result of his comics, possibly even the movies that then followed. Stan had a lot to offer the world, and he did it. And just knowing the fact that he got to live to a certain age where he saw the empire that he literally created with his own two hands, quite literally created with his own two hands, to see that become the massive success that it is now, that just makes everything worthwhile to me. So, thank you for listening, and please, I'm not saying this just for myself. I'm saying this on behalf of Stan. If anything I said right now has affected you in any kind of way, hopefully positively, if any of that spoke to you, touched you emotionally, then please share this video around, tell your friends about it, have a conversation in the comment section. I would be honored to talk to any of you guys on behalf of Stan. Not that I'm representing him, of course, or anything, but just I really want to honor the memory of this great man in a positive way. So please, if you've listened to this video all the way to the end, thank you, and Excelsior.